Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, my friend. Today we claim a powerful pause. This isn't about slowing down. It's about rising stronger. Recovery is not retreat. It's where warriors recharge. Together we'll stretch, breathe, and fuel our fire for what's next. Every inhale builds strength. Every exhale clears the path. Roll out your mat, bring your fierce heart, and let's recover like champions. You are ready to reset, expand, and conquer your world one stretch, one breath, one bold choice at a time. You know, in this world that is constantly telling us to go faster, push harder, achieve more, taking a pause can feel almost rebellious. We live in a culture that praises the hustle, the grind, the endless movement forward. And yet, without a pause, without recovery, the body begins to fray, the mind starts to scatter, the heart grows weary. It's like running a marathon without ever stopping for water. You might keep moving, but eventually you burn out. A recovery day is not a setback, it's not you falling behind. In fact, it's the opposite. A pause is a conscious, courageous choice to honor the body, the mind, and the spirit. Think of it like sharpening a sword. The warrior doesn't lose power by taking time to restore. The warrior grows stronger, steadier, more precise. Recovery is where resilience is built. So often we confuse rest with weakness, but here's the truth. Rest is strength. Rest is strategy. Rest is wisdom. When we allow ourselves to slow down and stretch, when we consciously make space for recovery, we give ourselves the opportunity to reset and return with more power than before. That pause, that intentional breath, becomes the fuel for everything that comes next, and it doesn't have to be complicated. Recovery can be as simple as sitting quietly with your breath, stretching slowly through your spine, or lying down on the mat and letting the earth hold you. What matters most is the willingness to give yourself permission to step out of the noise and listen inward. Because it's in that space of stillness where your body begins to repair, your mind begins to clear, and your spirit begins to rise. You see, the pause isn't an end, it's a bridge. It carries you from where you are to where you want to be. It transforms tired muscles into supple strength, restless thoughts into clarity, scattered energy into grounded presence. Every pause you take is an act of empowerment. Every recovery is a reminder that you're not just surviving, you're preparing to thrive. When we talk about recovery, the first place we begin is the breath. Because before we stretch, before we move, before we rise again, we reset. And the reset comes from something so simple, so accessible, that we often overlook it, our inhale and our exhale. The breath is not just oxygen filling the lungs. It's the rhythm of life, the anchor in the storm, the tool that brings us back to ourselves in any moment. Think about it. Most of the time we are breathing on autopilot. We're rushing, multitasking, carrying stress in the shoulders, holding tension in the jaw, and our breath becomes shallow, clipped, almost forgotten. But the moment we pause and choose to breathe with awareness, everything changes. That single inhale is like a key turning in a lock, opening the door to presence, clarity, and calm. That single exhale is like a release valve, washing away all that does not serve us. Inhale strength, exhale doubt, inhale possibility, exhale limitation. This simple rhythm has the power to reset not only the body, but the mind and spirit as well. Recovery begins with that mindful breath, because the breath reminds us, we are here, we are alive, and we have everything we need within us to keep going. When we stretch, the breath guides the movement. It tells the body it is safe to let go, safe to open, safe to expand. The more we breathe, the more the body softens. The more the body softens, the more the mind follows. And in that softening, in that surrender, we find a new kind of strength. Breathing is not about perfection, it's about presence. It's about creating space within yourself so that energy can flow again. Just a few conscious breaths can shift an entire day. Just a few conscious breaths can transform the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you connect with the world around you. So let us not take this gift for granted. Let us use it fully, deeply with gratitude. Each breath is a fresh start, a reset button we can press at any time. You don't need a mat, you don't need equipment, you don't need the perfect conditions. All you need is a willingness to pause, breathe, and come back to your center. Once the breath begins to guide us, the body naturally wants to move. Not in a forceful way, not in a way that demands more than you can give, but in a way that feels like opening a window in a stuffy room. Stretching is that opening. It's the invitation to expand, to create space where tension has settled, to let energy flow where it has been blocked. When we stretch, we're not just lengthening muscles, we're telling the body, I hear you, I see you, I care for you. Every reach, every gentle fold, every twist is a conversation between you and your body. And just like any good conversation, it requires listening. That's the beauty of recovery stretching. It's not about pushing to the edge, it's about exploring the edges with curiosity. Think of your body as a map. Over time, stress, strain, and habits leave marks on this map: tightness in the hips, stiffness in the shoulders, heaviness in the back. When we stretch, we're not erasing the marks, we're bringing awareness to them, shining a light on the places that need care. And with that awareness comes freedom. A stretch can unlock not only physical tension, but also emotional weight we've been carrying without realizing it. The expansion that happens when we stretch is both physical and energetic. The spine lengthens, the chest opens, the breath flows more freely, and suddenly there is more space inside. More space to breathe, more space to feel, more space to simply be. And when we carry that expansion off the mat, we don't just move differently. We live differently. We walk taller, we meet challenges with more openness, and we approach the world with a greater sense of ease. There is something incredibly powerful about the simplicity of it. You don't need to be flexible. You don't need to look a certain way. You don't need to achieve a perfect posture. You only need to show up, breathe, and allow your body to unfold, one stretch at a time. In that unfolding, you reclaim your energy, you reclaim your vitality, and you make space for what truly matters. After the breath and the stretch, something interesting begins to happen. The body feels lighter, the mind starts to settle, and we're invited into stillness, and for many of us, stillness can feel like the hardest part. We're so used to moving, to filling silence with noise, to filling space with activity. But here's the truth: stillness is where the deepest strength is found. Think about it. Anyone can push through a workout, anyone can chase the next task on the list, but it takes real courage to sit with yourself, to rest without distraction, to be present with what is. Stillness isn't empty. Stillness is full, it's alive with possibility. It's in those quiet moments that we actually integrate the breath, the stretch, the recovery. Without stillness, the work doesn't fully land. When you give yourself permission to be still, your body shifts from doing to healing. Muscles repair, the nervous system resets, the mind unwinds from the constant loop of thoughts. You create a container where growth can actually take root. It's like planting seeds in the soil. You don't see the growth immediately. But under the surface, the most important transformation is happening. And here's the beauty: stillness doesn't mean you have to sit perfectly cross-legged or meditate for hours. Stillness can be lying on your back, eyes closed, letting the breath flow naturally. It can be sitting in a chair, feeling your feet on the ground. It can be a pause between movements, a quiet moment to notice your heartbeat, the rise and fall of your chest. Strength isn't built by resisting stillness. It's built by allowing it. This is where recovery becomes powerful. In the quiet, we remember that strength isn't just measured by how much we can lift or how far we can stretch. Strength is measured by our ability to return to balance, to be calm in the midst of chaos, to hold space for ourselves when the world is rushing by. Stillness gives us resilience, not just for the body, but for the heart and mind. As we begin to trust stillness, something deeper reveals itself. Recovery isn't just about the body loosening or the muscles healing. It's about connection. The way you breathe, the way you stretch, the way you pause in stillness, it all weaves together into a dialogue between body and mind. And when those two parts of you are in harmony, that's when transformation happens. So many of us move through the day feeling disconnected. The mind is racing ahead with to-do lists and worries, while the body is quietly carrying tension, fatigue, and stress. We don't always notice how much we're holding until it speaks up through tight shoulders, a sore back, or restless sleep. But the moment we drop into recovery with awareness, we reunite the two. We remember that the body isn't separate from the mind. It's the home where the mind lives. Every stretch, every breath, every pause becomes a message. I am here. I am listening. The body responds with ease. The mind softens in return. And suddenly, what felt heavy begins to feel lighter. This is why recovery days are so powerful. They don't just reset the body, they reset the whole system. They remind us that we are not fragmented pieces, but one whole, integrated being. And here's the beautiful part. When you strengthen the mind, body connection, everything else in your life benefits. You begin to notice how your breath can calm you before a tough conversation, how releasing tension in the body can shift your perspective on a stressful situation, how slowing down to stretch can clear space for creative ideas to flow. It's all connected, and the more you nurture that connection, the more grounded, resilient, and alive you feel. It's not about perfect posture or perfect presence. It's about showing up to yourself with honesty and compassion. Some days the body will feel open, other days it will feel heavy. Some days the mind will be clear, other days cluttered. And that's okay. The work of connection is not to judge, but to notice, to meet yourself where you are, and to move forward from there. When the breath has reset us, the body has stretched and expanded, stillness has restored our strength, and the mind and body have reconnected, something shifts. We don't just recover, we rise. Recovery is not the finish line, it's the launch pad. It's the place where all the work we've done gathers, builds, and prepares us for what comes next. Think of the way a bow is drawn back before the arrow soars forward. Recovery is that drawing back. It may feel like a pause, but in truth, it's gathering energy, focus, and direction. When you rise from recovery, you rise with more clarity. You rise with purpose. You rise with resilience that can't be shaken by the small storms of life. Conquering doesn't mean bulldozing through the world. It doesn't mean ignoring your limits or denying your need for rest. True conquering is showing up fully, body, mind, and spirit aligned, and moving with intention. It's about meeting your challenges with courage, meeting your relationships with compassion, and meeting yourself with respect. Recovery makes all of this possible because it fills your cup so you can pour into your life without running dry. Every pause you've taken, every breath you've drawn, every stretch you've leaned into, every moment of stillness you've honored, these are not just exercises. They are acts of preparation. They are your training ground for living boldly. They remind you that you can bend without breaking, that you can rest without losing ground, and that you can always, always rise again. So, as you step out of this space, carry the energy of recovery with you. Walk taller, breathe deeper, move with more awareness. Let the clarity of this moment ripple into the rest of your day, into your work, into your relationships, into the way you show up in the world. Remember that recovery doesn't end when you roll up the mat. It lives with you, fueling the way you think, act, and dream. Because this isn't just about stretching. It's about rising renewed, ready to meet your life head on. Recovery is not retreat. It is your rebirth, your reset, your reminder that you are strong, capable, and unstoppable. As we close, remember this. Recovery is not a step back. It is the secret step forward. Today was not just about stretching the body, but about reclaiming space for breath, stillness, and connection. Carry this energy with you, off the mat, into your day, into your life. Every pause is power. Every breath is renewal. Every stretch is expansion. Recovery makes you stronger, clearer, more ready to rise. So honor it, embody it, and let it fuel your next bold step.